An afternoon in the kitchen. Situation. Mrs. Anderson is baking cakes when her daughter Debbie gets home from school. Debbie: Mom, I'm home. Mrs. Anderson: How was school? How did you do on the test? Debbie: School was okay, and I did great on the test. Mom: I was so worried about that test, but now I feel great. What a relief. Mrs. Anderson: I am glad to hear that. You have been studying so hard the past few weeks. Now, you can relax and enjoy life. Debbie: What are you cooking? It smells so good. Mrs. Anderson: I am baking cakes. This is your favorite carrot cake. Debbie: It looks really yummy. And I see muffins over there too. You were busy, weren't you? Mrs. Anderson: Yes. Jeff has to take something to school tomorrow. So, those muffins are for him. Don't touch them. Debbie: Can I have a piece of carrot cake? I want to enjoy life right now. Mrs. Anderson: You don't want to wait until after dinner. Debbie: It looks inviting, and I bet it is delicious. No, I don't want to wait. Can I, Mom? Mrs. Anderson: Okay, go ahead. Debbie: Did you see the new recipe that was posted on Today Cooking's website? I believe it was called scrumptious pie. Mrs. Anderson: No, I did not. But I want to try that recipe. Your dad loves pie. Debbie: So do I, Mrs. Anderson, so does Jeff. Our whole family is crazy about pie. Debbie: When do you want to try the new recipe? I want to learn too. Should we bake a cherry pie or an apple pie? Mrs. Anderson: Since this is the cherry season, let's make a cherry pie. Tomorrow, I will get some cherries at the supermarket, and we can start baking in the afternoon when you get home from school. Debbie: I need to finish a science project, and I will not get home until 3:30. Will it be too late to start baking, Mom? If it is, you can start without me. Mrs. Anderson: 3:30 p.m. is fine. I will prepare dinner early, and then I will have everything ready for our baking session before you get home. Debbie: Make sure that we still have enough sugar and eggs, Mom. It seems like you were using a lot of sugar and eggs baking the cakes and muffins today. Mrs. Anderson: Don't worry. We still have plenty of sugar and a lot of eggs, enough to make at least 10 pies. Debbie: 10 pies, huh? 10 sounds like a good number, but let's not overdo it. Let's make 9.5 pies instead. Mrs. Anderson: Okay, we will make 9.5 pies tomorrow. No more, no less. Debbie: It is a deal. Mrs. Anderson: Enough about baking pies. I need to start working on today's dinner. It is 3 o'clock already. Your dad and Jeff will be home soon. I am sure they will be very hungry and will want dinner right away. Debbie: What do we have for dinner tonight? Mrs. Anderson: I will make roast beef and cream of mushroom soup. Debbie: It has been a long time since you made cream of mushroom soup. Do you need any help, Mom? Mrs. Anderson: No, go do your homework and leave the cooking to me. Debbie: Thanks, Mom. Call me whenever dinner is ready. I do not want to be late for roast beef, cream of mushroom soup, carrot cake and muffins. Mrs. Anderson: The muffins are for Jeff. Do not touch them. Debbie: I know, Mom. Just kidding.